What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another Monday morning Comically Boston podcast, where every Monday we discuss the last week in nerddom and another weekly nerdy news here. But last night, unfortunately, my New England Patriots, from where I'm from, lost to the Super Bowl, and Drake May, poor bastard, he came in second in everything this year, which is just like, good for him. It's his second year in the league, you know, so might as well be second in everything. But heading into the next season and seeing how much that kid cared, I think we'll be alright, and the future is still in good hands for the Patriots. We just need to add some more pieces, make sure our offensive line is healthy and ready to go, and yeah, I think we'll be back. But the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny performing was awesome, and trailers and stuff like that, and commercials we'll talk about towards the end of the episode. Just to jump into the news that happened over the last week, I saw that MARKIPLIER, the famous YouTuber, he directed Iron Lung, his solo film that he produced himself and self-financed, and he, I think, had budgeted the movie, you know, it was like $3 million to make, and it debuted with 21 million globally and now has passed over 4 times the budget. And you know, he's very emotional about it. He's like, oh my god, I made a bunch of money. Is only second behind Sam Raimi's Send Help for a couple of weeks, you know, so good for Markiplier in making a movie. You know, 21 million is not a lot of money, but when you made a movie for 3 million, that's a very profitable movie. And he says it's a hero's moment to show indie filmmaking is possible. You know, you don't need to get the budgets from the studios and let the studios have the rights. You know, like, you can do it yourself. You can be a YouTuber. You can have 25 million subscribers that show out for you, and they'll do just that. And they'll show up to the theaters, they'll watch your movie, and you can do it all yourself. You can star in it, you can write it, you can produce it, you can direct it. You know, like, he did everything. So good for Markiplier. I love to see somebody doing well out there that deserves to do well. But talking about a show that ended on a good note and heading into season 3, it looks like it's going to be very special. But just over the last week, Fallout season 2 finished its season 2 finale, and I loved that that show was going week to week. But A Night of the Seven Kingdoms has also been going a week to week, so I didn't get around to breaking down Fallout, but also it was like a weird kind of show where, like, there is Easter eggs, but not necessarily Easter eggs that I would know of because I haven't played the games. So me and my roommate just watched it just as a dinner show for us, and he's a big Fallout guy, so he was quite into it, and he really loved the suit that Maximus got to wear at the end of season 2, and he was like, oh, that power armor, I need to get that. And now he's like, oh, maybe I should go play New Vegas, so he might be jumping into New Vegas when he's more of a Fallout 4 type of guy. But heading into season 3, which I believe the show is 100% greenlit for season 3 already, and possibly already filmed some of it, but it looks like our boy Walton Goggins is splitting up from Lucy, and he's going towards Colorado. So I don't know if any of the other Fallout video games have been in Colorado. Maybe that's more of like a Fallout 5, you know, and they're teasing where that game's going to be set in, you know what I mean? But Dogmeat's still around, Hank is kind of around, Mr. House is around, his wife might be in Colorado, Maximus is still there, Lucy, of course, the gorgeous Ella Purnell. Yeah, she and Walton Goggins are the reasons I watched that show. Maximus is alright, but I'm not really here for that guy or that character. But the Ghoul and Lucy, I'm totally here for. And Dogmeat, of course, you can't let anything happen to Dogmeat. But anybody that watched season 2 of Fallout and knows more about it than me, you know, what do you think of where things could be going in season 3? And any big Fallout fans, how did you like the first 2 seasons of that? And are you ready and willing to watch whatever comes next? I know I will probably 100% be watching whatever comes next because it's been good so far, but it is a touch weird, you know, and I'm not sure if I could get my mom to watch this show, you know. She tried it, she was like, yeah, I don't understand it, not for me. And I was like, you're such a loser. But anybody out there that's like been thinking about trying it, give it a try. You know, I'm somebody that didn't know anything from the games necessarily, but Walton Goggins makes a meal out of dialogue, so, you know, I'll watch him be a gangster cowboy any day of the week, you know. But moving on into a magazine cover for Empire, they have a Masters of the Universe cover here with, I believe that's Nick Galenzine on the cover as He-Man, and then I'm not sure who the woman to his left is, and then that tiger. I'm not well versed in the He-Man universe, but isn't that Flash? Or is that Flash Gordon? Saviors of the Universe? Is that different from Masters of the Universe? Maybe. I don't know. But it also looks like maybe Idris Elba on his right there, on our left. Castle Doom maybe in the background. And then this cover says, Avengers Doomsday, the first word. James McAvoy, the big interview. By the power of Grayskull, the Masters of the Universe. On set with He-Man and friends for the year's barmiest blockbuster? Barmiest? What the hell is that? Plus The Pit, Lisa Kudrow, Scream 7, and Miss Piggy. Not a big week for Empire there, it looks like. They had to interview a Muppet, Lisa Kudrow, and The Pit. Scream 7 coming up in February, though, later this month. I'm quite excited to see that. I think it's going to be a good time. I think it should be entertaining. There was also this other Empire magazine cover where it looks like this is just Castle Doom getting struck by lightning in his giant sword. And so this is the exclusive Empire subscribers cover. This is what they get. Interesting. It's funny, I didn't even think magazine companies were really a thing anymore, but you know, I thought all like newspapers and stuff just turned into like articles online and websites, but apparently Empire is still a thing. But maybe it's probably a website as well. You know, I doubt people are really buying magazines like that anymore, except for like doctors' offices. But it is what it is. Any He-Man or Master of the Universe fans, comment below your thoughts on that. Another piece of information I saw the other day was that Dan Trachtenberg, director of Predator Badlands and Killer of Killers and Prey, he has signed a 3-year first look deal with Paramount Pictures, and it says he will develop, direct, and produce feature projects at the studio with Paramount Pictures. And I don't know, maybe that's a good call, maybe not. I don't know where the rights are for the Predators, so maybe that's, you know, whatever he's doing for the next 3 years, maybe that's stuff that isn't Predator related. I think for the Predator Badlands press tour, he did say that he wanted to do some other stuff besides Predator, but he still has ideas for more Predator projects. Me personally, I would rather him be focusing on the Predator Badlands sequel and what's ever going to be coming next, but maybe he's got to give some time for that, so whatever he's doing for the next 3 years that isn't Predator stuff, because I'm pretty sure that's owned by Disney and Hulu, right? But it could be Universal or something, I don't know. I don't think it's Paramount, so if it is Paramount, I guess whatever he makes for the next 3 years, they're going to get the first chance to make it. And that's a report coming from Hollywood Reporter. And I really like Dan Trachtenberg's work, so I hope he doesn't get stuck with the trash heap of Paramount and whatever is going down over there. We also got reported details on the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot film, and apparently this is a project that is the priority for the new Disney leadership, and will focus on Jack Sparrow's son and likely Margot Robbie along with them. So I'm thinking maybe Margot Robbie was a lover to Jack Sparrow and got knocked up by him, and he, you know, left to do pirate shit, so he had no idea about his son. But all I know is that we need Jack Sparrow back, even if it's about his son and Margot Robbie. A Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp isn't going to do well. I just know it won't. Even if it is Jack Sparrow's son and he's just like him, like, you need Johnny Depp. You know, like, that Jack Sparrow character is iconic. You know, it's almost like Jason Momoa and Lobo now. Like, Lobo is Jason Momoa is Lobo. It's the same thing with Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow. You need one with the other. And then other than that, it says Christy Wilson Cairns, the writer for 1917, is in talks to write the script for this Pirates of the Caribbean reboot. But talk about a franchise that, you know, as much as, like, even if it doesn't have Johnny Depp in it, the Pirates of the Caribbean needs to continue on, you know, like, just iconic franchise, iconic fucking bum bum ba-da-dum bum ba-da-dum dum da-da-dum, you know, like the score, the music behind those movies, absolutely iconic. I mean, I loved those movies growing up, and now as a man in his 20s, almost 30s, yeah, I'm gonna want more Pirates of the Caribbean in my life, and especially if it means Margot Robbie and Jack Sparrow are hooking up. I'm into it. Another interesting report I saw from Deadline the other day was that Austin Butler is set to star in a movie about the infamous cyclist Lance Armstrong from director of Conclave, Edward Berger. So that was interesting. I was like, isn't Lance Armstrong a shaved head type of guy? Okay, I guess. I mean, Austin Butler's got the acting chops that he can do just about anything he wants, but he's also known for his incredible head of hair. But he's also willing to do a bald cap like he did for Dune Part 2. So, bald cap Lance Armstrong, maybe. Shaved head Austin Butler, maybe. I don't know. But cyclist Austin Butler? I guess he was good on a motorcycle in the Bike Riders film, so he had to get good on bikes. So, maybe he's just swapping an engined bike for his feet. And he's going to be firing up those old Chevrolets to get him around. Like, damn. Alright. Interesting movie that's going to be in the works. Austin Butler, love to see it. But sliding over into some Marvel news, Wonder Man is reportedly very close to getting greenlit for season 2 of Wonder Man. And that is coming from Daniel RPK, so maybe take it with a grain of salt. But the reviews coming in for Wonder Man have been really good. And you can see this like picture here. It says, "The cure to superhero fatigue deserves a standing ovation. Wonder Man is the best Marvel television series to date. Kingsley is brilliant, satisfying, as close to perfection as the MCU can get. Yaya gives a stunning performance and it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. All episodes now streaming for Wonder Man. Breakdowns for Wonder Man episode 1 and the whole season are up on my channel now, so go check those out if you haven't and you want to know more about Wonder Man." But yeah, I was really here for Wonder Man, and I thought it ended on quite a cliffhanger so that they could very easily do a season 2 if they wanted. Or if they want to pick up that story in Avengers Doomsday or something, I wouldn't be mad. See all of a sudden Yahya Abdul-Mateen and fucking Ben Kingsley show up in Avengers Doomsday, I'd be like, ah, you know, like I'd be doing the Leo meme, freaking, you know, I'd be pointing at the screen, fucking, hey, my boys, you know, like, we already know like 60 people that's going to be in that movie. What's 2 more? Come on. It's funny though, because with like Avengers Endgame, that line that Wong had where like everybody was in Avengers Endgame, but then at the end he was like, you wanted more? I think that line, if it was in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars, people are going to go, yeah, we were expecting more. You know, I think at a certain point, we all are building up the expectations for these movies in our heads so much bigger than what Marvel's building. You know what I mean? So I think we need to temper ourselves a little bit, dial it back a little, because until we see a trailer or we get some more confirmations about this movie, it's all speculation and we're all just guessing. But I don't know. I think Secret Wars should probably get split into 2 films and be Doomsday, Secret Wars Part 1, Secret Wars Part 2, and break it into 3 films over the next 4 years or something like that, and you know, give us a little bit more time to breathe, but also a little more time to write all of those actors into the script. But you also got to think, the more and more people they add, just the bigger and bigger and bigger the budget gets, and that's before they even start filming, right? Like, just bringing all these big actors in just costed money left and right, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're getting actors that are like, I just want to be in it, you don't need to pay me millions of dollars, just give me 0.5% on the back end and I'm good, you know, or something, I don't know. Avengers Doomsday Secret Wars has me nervous, but I'll tell you something that doesn't. Coming up here in March, the next Disney Plus show, and that's Daredevil Born Again, dropping on March 24th, and we have this interesting cover here that was done, I think it's just fan art, but it says King versus the Devil, and Wilson Fisk has a Vanessa tattoo on his arm, Matt Murdock has a Daredevil DD tattoo on his shoulder, and I don't know if this is going to be true, but we do see in the little teaser trailer that Kingpin is going to be in a boxing match, but will Matt Murdock be across the ring having a boxing match with him? Or I wonder if like Wilson Fisk is doing boxing matches on purpose to kill people the same way like Matt Murdock's father, battling Jack Murdock, died from boxing and his boxing injuries and the mob. You know, so I wonder if he's doing these boxing events to draw out Matt Murdock, you know? I don't know. But either way, that's a cool looking fan poster. And I did see another report the other day that they are executive producing this season, and you know, they have their hands in the cookie jar, if you would, and I cannot wait to see another trailer of Daredevil Born Again, or just, you know, I don't even need to see a trailer, just give me the show and let me feast my eyes in March on this. And me and my roommate are currently rewatching Daredevil, so hopefully by the end of March we'll be nice and caught up on this show, and we'll be able to go right into that show easy breezy, you know what I mean? And yeah, can't wait. Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, absolutely perfect casting for those two roles. But also another Marvel project that I am highly anticipating from this year is the Punisher special presentation. And apparently a report came out that the special presentation is going to be titled Punisher One-Shot Special and will release this summer. So to me that means we got Daredevil Born Again. He might be in, he might not be in, because we know Punisher is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is also supposed to be set in New York, I believe. So if Punisher's in Spider-Man Brand New Day in, what, June, July, and then in the summer, maybe in August, we get a little one-shot special presentation, one-off type of thing, I am totally here for this. I mean, definitely one of the more anticipated projects of the year, with John Bernthal writing and starring in that, and like really having a lot of passion behind this Punisher special presentation. So, you know, I'm shocked it's even a thing, but like also utilize the special presentation. You know, if you guys are going to do Wonder Man as a Marvel Spotlight, and you're going to do Werewolf by Night by a special presentation, you know, and then not touch them for years and then come back and be like, oh, here's another one. Like, come on, you guys got to be a little bit more consistent. Come out with more special presentations, come out with more spotlights, come out with more series, animation, whatever you're doing, just be consistent about it, and make sure you are you have faith in the projects that you're making, you know, because sometimes, you know, Wonder Man, it seemed like they didn't know that was going to be good. They were like, okay, we'll just dump it and see. If it's bad, it will be gone in the news in 1 week, and if it's good, hopefully it gets talked about. But like, it was plenty good and people really raved about it, but like, now it's been a week since it's come out and it's already like over. We're already past it. Like, we're on to the Super Bowl, we're on to the Night of the Seven Kingdoms final 2 episodes. Like, I should have been able to talk about Wonder Man for like 8 weeks, or even like 2 weeks, you know, which is still a little bit amount of time, you know, or 4 weeks, do 2 episode bundles for 4 weeks or something. Like, figure out your release schedules, Marvel, really, like, you're pissing me off. But now, just to wrap up today's show with the Super Bowl and the Bad Bunny halftime performance, just to give my little take on it. I think it was an incredible show for Mr. Bad Bunny. I think he put on for Puerto Rico, and like, although I can't understand a lot of Spanish, un poquito española, for me, I understand very little, and I could say even less, you know what I mean? And so I didn't necessarily know his music and what he was saying, but I'll tell you what, the hips and the shoulders were going, baby. Bum dum 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 dum. Like, yeah, Bad Bunny's catchy and vibey is what that halftime show was. Was Kendrick's better? I think so, just because it was in English, I could understand it more. I'd heard a lot more of the music. He's also got bangers from the past that, like, you know, I don't know a lot of Bad Bunny's work, but I would think Kendrick's got a much vaster catalog, you know, where he didn't have to just do one album, he could do this vast catalog. But the actual show, you know, like, I want to say Kendrick used more of the field, but Bad Bunny had much more of a spectacle. You know, he had his cabana, he had people dressed up as grass, he had a truck, he had guys playing dominoes, you know, like, he friggin' put on a good show. He was lots of gyrating, lots of humping the screen with the vibiness of his music and the beat, the bass drops and the beat, you know what I mean? But still vibing, still a good time, and you know, it's hype that he won friggin' 3 Grammys just like a week ago, and then he got to perform those songs at the Super Bowl. Like, Bad Bunny stock couldn't be higher right now, but yet the poor kid, like, seems terrified of ICE and what's going on, and he's like, I can't even do American shows because I'm afraid my people will get arrested and you know, hurt for coming to his show. Like, you know, and that's not the position he wants to be in, but he did show that the only way to stop hate is love, and nothing is stronger than love, and love can drown out hate. And yeah, I feel him, you know, that's what this channel is all about. You know, I'm here to talk about the things I enjoy, and share them with the people that enjoy these things as well, and talk about it with people that enjoy these things as well, you know, and I'm not trying to shit on things unnecessarily unless they deserve to be shit on. But as far as some other stuff that happened at the Super Bowl, there was a couple of great trailers for Project Hail Mary, which is the next film, I believe, coming out in March 20th, with Ryan Gosling, and I believe this was a book from Andy Weir, is maybe the director or the writer who also did The Martian a few years back. But it says, this new poster says, "Believe in the Hail Mary," and Project Hail Mary, and Ryan Gosling. I just saw the trailer for this, and I was like, it's like Ryan Gosling and a companion named Rocky, and it's just like a rock that, you know, it has some life to it, you know. All right. Interesting. I mean, I like Ryan Gosling, and the visuals in that looked absolutely incredible. So I guess we're here for it. I guess we're going to check it out and see what happens. There was also a Supergirl trailer that we'll talk about more in a second. There was a Hoppers one. There was a Disclosure Day one. There was a Mandalorian and Grogu friggin' little teaser trailer that didn't show much more of the movie and showed like this little scene where they're like on this cart getting pulled by tauntauns in the snow, and like Star Wars did their own version of like the Budweiser Clydesdales commercial. And like, as far as commercials, I thought this one was cute, but I thought this was all as close as we were going to get to the Clydesdales, because a few years ago they kind of gave up on the Clydesdales. But happy to report, Budweiser brought back the Clydesdales. I didn't see a funny Pringles or like Coca-Cola or like Mountain Dew this year though, so that's interesting. Not as many trailers as I would have expected either. There was a pretty interesting one for Disclosure Day, and I have a couple new posters here for Spielberg's Disclosure Day with this weird picture and the weird blue eye of Emily Blunt, and then I believe this one's Josh O'Connor with the weird eye in a deer. Very interesting, but this is coming out, what, June 12th? June 12th, 2026, so coming this summer. Spielberg dropping another UFO movie. It's gotta be good, you know, like, I'm here for pretty much anything Steven Spielberg does because he's never failed me ever, but this guy doing another UFO movie, I mean, we're talking E.T., we're talking Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Like, this guy knows how to do alien films. And when it comes to sci-fi, I am here for Mr. Steven Spielberg's designs. And like, just the trailer that I saw of like a ship coming out of the atmosphere and like clouds and smoke around it, I was like, holy shit, what is this movie? What are the visuals? I need to see it, you know, like, awesome. Then there was also this Adventures of Cliff Booth little teaser trailer that came out that I wanted to check out and just talk about with y'all. So Brad Pitt, it looks like they're blocked out when he's smoking, and like, so this is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's Brad Pitt in Cliff Booth returning to have kind of like a solo movie, and I believe this was written by Tarantino and directed by David Fincher for Netflix, and this should be coming to Netflix sometime this year, maybe next year. But I hope this was just for the Super Bowl, where there's like little squigglies over the smoke or naked women or booze, and hopefully that was just for the Super Bowl, because if those little squiggles are in the movie, I mean, what's the point? You know, I would be like, what the fuck? Like, this is so weird. But I'm thinking this was just a censored Cliff Booth, Adventures of Cliff Booth trailer for the Super Bowl trailer. I'm a little funny, Brad Pitt, coming soon. Coming soon to Netflix, yeah. So, The Adventures of Cliff Booth, and the film is not yet rated. So maybe that's why it's also got everything covered up, because the Super Bowl trailer for one, but also Netflix, like, if we gotta list this as NR, you know, not even rated R, past whatever X, rated X, who knows. David Fincher, Brad Pitt, Tarantino script, I believe, carrying on that story from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It looks pretty damn good. I'm here for it. But then the last thing I want to talk about in today's trailer, this new Supergirl poster that says "Watch Out Universe," and we see a baby Krypto with his little baby Krypto collar, and this film's coming June 26th of 2026, so the same month as Spielberg's UFO movie, just a couple weeks later, and then I believe it's a couple weeks before, or maybe the same week as like The Odyssey, and then Spider-Man Brand New Days right around this time as well. Like, absolutely going to be a crazy couple months for June, July, and then into the summer. But this little Supergirl teaser trailer, it's not that long, so why don't we check it out. So some shots we've seen from this Supergirl trailer before, but on June 26th we see a little baby Krypto. Power is unleashed. It is Krypto's power, puppy power. Oh, we see her father, Brumholtz. Oh, so maybe we're gonna see exactly how Supergirl got Krypto.
Gods are not that kind. For you guys. Who wants soup, Mama? He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Yeah, so not much more shots. And so from the previous trailer, there was one shot that they added, which was that Krypto without his collar and he looked naked, and I was like, what's going on here? So maybe now from this trailer, maybe we're gonna see how Krypto got his powers, how he ended up with Kara in Supergirl, and how he becomes her dog, and you know, how he ends up with Krypton or whatever. And you know, maybe we see him grow up and that's why he's like barking, protecting a younger Supergirl, and then she goes, you know what, you are quite a super dog, why don't I give you something to match me a little bit, and she gives him a super collar and a cape, and now he's Krypto the super dog, you know. But nice little trailer, nothing too much in that trailer there, but I love that. I think that was either released during the Puppy Bowl or during the beginning of the Super Bowl, but either way, that poster of young Krypto is too cute. So now if this little baby Krypto is in Supergirl, I'm gonna love this movie even more. But the soundtrack for that looks good, the shots look good, it's like, it seems grungy, but also like the sci-fi space epic. I'm totally here for it. I love that this is the direction for James Gunn's DCU. And then we also have Man of Tomorrow that will start filming this year at some point and probably come out next year. So I'm very excited. I'd love to hear all the things that you guys are excited about down in the comment section below, or you can message me on my other social medias. Links for those down in the description below. Once again, my name's Big Cam, 2 G's in the Big, pretty much anywhere, and you can find me. Just look for this face. And if you made it this far in the video and you would like to support the channel, the best way of doing that is dropping a like on this video, commenting down below, subscribing if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you don't miss future weekly nerdy news podcasts and you get the notifications when those come out. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms breakdowns didn't come out this week. It came out on Friday, so the breakdown's already up on the channel, and stay tuned for next week for episode 5's breakdown, which comes out on Sunday. So I can't wait for that, and I will see you gorgeous people in the next video. Peace!